I've got a question for you. Can we build a team and tactic based all around aggression? Use players and roles all set to destroy the opposition. Can we win a trophy playing dirty? This is the aggression story. And today's story starts in the Greek Super League with Panathinaikos. A giant of Greek football, but without a Greek Super League title since 2010. So our goal is simple: take this Panathinaikos squad, make them into the most aggressive team possible, and get them back to the top of Greek football. Right then, so I'm excited about this one. I have never managed in Greece before, so this will be dead cool. So we've got a pretty large squad looking at it, but the thing is, even if they're really good, we're going to have to replace them if they don't fit into our remit. And I will show you the remit now using a squad view that I have built. Okay, so this is the aggression one, and this is the view I've built for this team and to build this squad over the seasons. And you can see the attributes that I've got across there that I'm going to go for the main focus ones. So aggression, bravery, determination, stamina, strength, tackling, teamwork, and work rate. Obviously, some of those won't be needed for certain positions, such as goalkeeper. Won't be needing many of those, but for the outfield positions, that's what I'm focusing on. And by the way, when I was building that view, so transferring attributes over to here, this one caught my eye. It might have been quite handy actually. Punching, tendency, aggression. But back to the squad, you can see we've got a couple of players that are already huge standouts, such as Zika here. Zika here is a 35-year-old midfielder, but he's got everything I need. His aggression is 16, his bravery, his determination is off the scale, leadership's a little handy bonus, teamwork, work rate, tackling, he is perfect. So no matter how highly rated some of these players are, they will be transfer listed if they do not fit into my thinking. Such as this man, striker Andres Spora. His aggression is not good enough, neither is his bravery, he's just not the right type of player that we need. He will be transfer listed. So a little time has passed and you can see the amount of players I've shipped out that didn't fit into my philosophy. Some good players have left us, such as DIRTIEST here. Look at his flair and his first touch. He's a great technical player, but he's just not what we needed. Now, if you're still yet to grasp fully what I'm after, let me introduce you to my first signing, who is absolutely what this save will be built on. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Klaus Gazula, who is an Albanian that I brought over from the 2nd division in Germany, but I think you can see why. Aggression 20, bravery 19, determination 19, work rate 18, tackling 16. He is a lunatic. He was one of 7 players I brought in this off-season. Highlights include much travelled Raja Nainggolan. He is 36, but he fits the remit perfectly with 18 aggression, bravery, determination of 20. And how about Arturo Vidal, who's played for some of the top teams in Europe? He comes over at 37 years old, but again, aggression of 20. Now, I did spend a little bit of money, 2 million, on striker Ramon Mirez. Now, he's perfect as well. He's got the perfect aggressive attributes. He'll be a forward for us. As will Enzo Crivelli, another journeyman forward, but again, a lunatic. So that transfer activity of ins and outs mean that our squad now as a whole looks far more balanced in terms of what I'm after. Now, obviously, it's season 1, so I'm not going to get my perfect squad layout yet, but I've definitely made headway by getting players out and players in. And there's a few players at the club who will do okay for this season before we'll look to replace them, such as Maximovic here. Now, Panathinaikos actually spent a bit of money on him, 8 million. His mentals of aggression, bravery and determination are okay at 13 and 15. We'll look to replace him and upgrade, but for this season, he'll be okay. So what about the tactic for this mission? So this is the one I've came up with. It's a diamond tactic with some interesting player roles that should help our philosophy. In goal, we've got a standard goalkeeper, none of that sweeper keeper nonsense, and in front of him, 2 no-nonsense centre-backs. Now out wide, I've got 2 wing-backs on attack because they're going to have to do most of the attacking, because in midfield, we've gone for a triple ball-winning midfielder. 1 holding his position in Big Mad Klaus, and then we've got 2 a little bit further up. The one position where we're going to allow a bit of creativity is in attacking midfield with Bakasetas. But to be fair, he's a pretty great all-rounder for us. He's got aggression and bravery, but he's also got long shots, flaring and passing ability. He's an absolute dream for this. And up front, I thought about target forwards, but I've actually gone more aggressive with 2 pressing forwards on attack to put pressure on those defenders. Partner in signing Ramon Mirez will be Fotis Ioannidis. Again, he's a bit like Maximovic, where his aggression isn't quite there, but some of his things like bravery are, so for this season, he's definitely going to be our main striker. And continuing the aggression theme, borrowing from our long ball story, we will go with long throws as well. So after our first transfer window, as our overall guide, this is the mentals of our entire squad, which is where most of our attributes lie. And you can see aggression, we are top of the league with 13.97. Bravery, again, we are top. So the ones we're looking at, determination, top of there as well, and work rate. So we are top of that, despite my squad being not as perfect as I want it. Right, we're just about to start the season. That's what we're going to go in with. I'm really happy with the team. I think it looks beautiful. We've got Philip Max as well. Surprised he was already in Greek football. Kind of hits the remit, but maybe he's just a little on the short size for aggression. We'll see. But I think it's important to say that we do have ball-winning midfielders and pressing forwards, but we can change these roles up if we need to, because at the end of the day, their mentals aren't going to change. They're still aggressive. They're still determined. They're still brave. If we changed Zika, for example, to a deep line playmaker, he's not suddenly going to turn into some sort of angel. He's still going to be a lunatic. Probably unsurprisingly, it didn't take long for our first red card to come. I think it was the fourth match when Scheckenveld had 2 goals at it, but managed to get sent off for that. At the midpoint of the season, we'd looked good in the league. We failed in the Europa League, however, after a topsy-turvy run where we won 3 and lost 3, we just missed out on qualification. But in the league, we were handily placed in 3rd position, but we had lost 5 matches. But watching the games, we were absolutely blasting teams. And I knew we should have been higher up. The XG showed we should have been top of the league. We're just missing too many chances. In the transfer window, we continued to mould the squad by letting go highly rated Brazilian TATO because he's just too much of an angel. And we brought in Akpro from Lazio and free transfer of David Luiz, who fits the bill perfectly. So we were unfortunately knocked out of Europe. However, in the Greek Cup, we were due to play in the final against Olympiacos at the end of the season, and we were in the league split, the championship group of the Super League. Our form had been up and down throughout the season, but I'd made a couple of tactical tweaks to player instructions that had really helped. And when I say really helped, I mean it. We went away to Olympiacos. I mean, that is so one-sided, and they're one of the best teams here. We beat them again at home, and our championship group form was fantastic. So good, in fact, that we jumped to the top of the league with only a couple of matches to go. We can't do this in the first season, can we? The tactic and team chemistry was working fantastic. David Luiz came in. I made him a ball-playing defender because you've got to, haven't you? And in Klaus's 36 matches, he's got 10 yellow cards so far with 1 red. I mean, with those attributes, it was always going to happen, wasn't it? But you've got to love the guy. This David Luiz goal kept us top over Olympiacos with 1 game to go. You can see how tight it is. Our last match was a tough looking one away at AEK Athens. All we need to do is win and we've got the league title in season 1. And we had a dream start and we scored after 4 minutes. But then it all went wrong. Despite dominating the match, we bottled it 3-1. Olympiacos won their shootout and they took the league by 3 points. We had a chance to redeem ourselves in the Greek Cup final, and it was Olympiacos. It went all the way to extra time. It's the 122nd minute. Are you kidding me? It was nearly a 1-season hit this. We nearly completed it in 1 season by winning the league and the cup. But we ended up winning nothing. However, we did have a moral victory because every metric we want to be on top of in terms of aggression, we are top of. Fouls made, yellow cards, red cards, headers won, and then we've got chances created. We're top of that. Expected goals for, top of that. We should have won this league. Opposition passes per defensive action, we're top of that. We're doing so much right. So much right. But remember, that was only season 1. The squad is looking better in terms of our aggression template. But it's time for season 2, pre-season. Let's make that even better. Season 2 began with the devastating news that Klaus Gajula decided to retire at 35. But it meant I gave him a job as a coach. Even though he's terrible, but it's Klaus. After a busy transfer window, this is how the squad attribute table looks. We're definitely improving now. There's some big numbers going on here. In fact, I shipped out £28 million worth of talent. And the only one I was gutted to lose was Fostas Ioannidis, who went to Borussia Mönchengladbach for 16 million. However, we replaced him with Thiago Tomas, 7 million from Wolfsburg. He's got the aggression, he's got the determination and bravery. He's an upgrade in terms of attributes. We brought in one of my favourite players, Monchu. What I like about Monchu is he's got the aggression that we need, but he's also got a bit of class in terms of his passing and vision. Dennis Favreau comes in for 6 million for centre back, as does Torreneega from Ghent. Let's call him Jordan from now on. And we also signed the new keeper, Marcel Schuwen. Even he's got aggression of 16 and bravery of 16. He's another lunatic. Which meant the team was going to be shaping up something like this for Season 2. We had 3 versions of the one tactic now because I really do like the way it plays in match. We had the original there with the ball-winning midfielder on support. This version with both on defence, so the wing-backs have even more licence to roam. And a slightly more aggressive one with the 2 ball-winning midfielders on support. But we're sticking with this throughout, I think. Now, we'd started this season in sublime form. There was only 12 games gone, but we're already top of the yellow card table by an absolute mile. In the league, we looked fantastic. It didn't look like we were going to lose, and it was probably only this red card that cost us. I mean, if you're going to get a red card, get a red card. Late in the transfer window, we brought in Rodrigo Salazar as well. Again, he's a bit like Monchu, where he's got the aggression and the determination, but he's also a little bit of class. And he helped us do what we always do and absolutely smash Olympiacos. Whichever version of the 3 tactics we used was going really well. Probably highlighted by our form in the Europa League, where we absolutely smashed Sevilla. And we also put 9 past Maccabi Haifa. So I was determined to get the cup this year after last year's heartbreak. But then, Mladenovic did that. Closer inspection shows he actually nutted the guy. A little after that, we conceded the worst goal of all time. And got knocked out. We got another red card in the Europa League against Atalanta. Jesus. I mean, when we get red cards, we get red cards. But a great effort against a top Italian team, only going out 2-1 in the quarterfinals. And this 91st minute goal from Salazar, combined with a great overall season in the league, helped confirm Panathinaikos' first league title since 2010. And we of course maintained our position at the top of the fouls table and the yellow cards table by an absolute mile. Now obviously I'm buzzing that we finished on top of the fouls table and the yellow card table, but let's give a bit of respect to the team here as well. They absolutely blasted that league with only losing 5 times, scoring 86, and if you look at the actual league table, at that point they were way clear of 8 points as well, only losing 2 during the league campaign. All that's left for us to do really is not get beat in the Greek Cup. We need that Greek Cup and maybe another league title, and then we are firmly established as the dominant team in Greek football. But definitely what we have done after those various transfer windows, our squad now is absolutely built for this. I think one more transfer window where we can just emphasise the fact that we are the most aggressive team in world football, that would be beautiful. By the way, if you're wondering about overall team performance, your wing-backs will get an absolute heap of assists. Philip Max, for example, got 23 assists down the left-hand side. Your strikers do well, but it always seems one does better than the other. For example, Thomas here, with injuries ravaged his season, still scored 28 times. Your attacking midfielder will be key as well for goals and assists. But overall, it's a really nice, well-balanced tactic. Now on to Season 3. When we arrived at Season 3 pre-season, we regret with us being odds-on favourite for the league. We'd shipped out the final few players that didn't really fit in with our philosophy. And we'd brought some more in that did, such as Bakayoko, Morton Forsby, who covers every remit possible and nearly every position. Palomino comes in. You'll probably guess by now that age doesn't bother me, especially if they fit our target attributes. And that's really underlined when you can see that I brought in 37-year-old lunatic Diego Costa. But the signing I was most excited about was the loan signing of Big Paul Onuachu, 6'7", he's going to cause havoc. We're going to Season 3 with the same tactical setup. It looked like I was right to be excited about Onuachu, because on his debut he was destroying teams from corners. So this season we have a massive threat from corners and deep crosses. He bagged a hat-trick on his debut, and he was all set for back-to-back hat-tricks. But he'd been listening to his teammates a little bit too much, I think, because he did this.
Disgrace.
But we'll let him off because he started fantastically. Just like the team have, we've only lost 1 match in the league. And of course, this season we're in the Champions League and we have shocked some bigger teams like Real Sociedad. As our stature rises, so does the quality of player. Otavio came in on a free transfer. perfect. This is definitely the best squad we've ever had, and in terms of the overall philosophy, definitely. We even caused an upset against fellow lunatics Atletico Madrid. We were leading this tie right up until the 57th minute, and then for some reason, Big Paul did that. I mean, he has bought in with our philosophy.
Shocking.
After that, Madrid scored twice and knocked us out. Despite his second red card of the season, he's been fantastic for us, scoring 37 times in 43 matches. And it's meant that we have absolutely bulldozed the league again, getting back-to-back titles, and we got to the Greek Cup final, so we have a chance to get the double. The only negative is Big Paul, in a seemingly innocuous incident, ruptured his Achilles tendon, meaning he's out for the season, so he's gone back to Southampton and misses the final. In the final, it was Salonika, and we started off fantastically well. In fact, we played fantastically throughout and bagged 4 and claimed the Greek Cup. And for the third successive season, we finished top of the fouls made and yellow cards chart. Bit disappointed with our red card performance though, only the one in the league. But overall, very happy with the squad we're able to build, easily the most aggressive team in the league, and because we're getting better and better, to be able to attract players like Otavio to the club is wild. If we look at the comparison in the league and our key metrics are aggression, you can see we're way top of that, bravery way top of that, and the ones we want to be top of, we are top of. Tactic was fantastic. In some tougher away games, we did only drop down the mentality to balanced in any of the 3 versions, but overall, super happy with it. I'll stick it in Patreon, of course. If you want to explore the tactic a bit more, I'll put the team instructions on at the end of the video. Overall transfer business, we spent 61 million and brought in 44, so about 15 million deficit overall, but that's not bad for the success we had. Very happy with the outcome though. It's the perfect storm of the player roles being aggressive, the team instructions being aggressive, and them just smashing teams up.